Good afternoon, everyone. So, today is our first live session for this particular course. And being the first session, I would like to have a very brief introduction round with all those who are present here. The aim is basically to understand all of you, and I'll also introduce myself. In the introduction, we basically would want to know your name. Um, what are you doing as of now? Because we have seen in the past that the course has been taken up by students, professionals, educators, academicians. So we had a very diverse typology of users and the learners who have taken up this course. So I would like to know your name, what you are doing as of now. It could be college, it could be an institution or an organization. If you are in a college, then what course you are pursuing, in which area you are in, and I would like to know, I mean, why have you taken up this course? I also realize that in many institutions, it's like a academic requirement where the course is counted as a part of course credits, right? So that is also fine. You can tell me that, right? So what I'll do is I would first request if you can please turn on your camera so that at least we can, at least for the first class, let's uh, be aware of everyone who is studying the course. And okay, so what I'll do is I'll briefly introduce myself and then I would call out the names. If it is possible for you to turn on your camera, I would request you to at least during the introduction, you can turn on your camera, introduce yourself, and then you can, turn off it once again. Right. So I'll start with my introduction. My name is Abhishek Srivastav. I am basically the teaching assistant for this particular course. The course is Understanding Incubation and Entrepreneurship, and my role is basically to help you, guide you, mentor you, to post certain set of questions so that I prepare you well for your final exam. And if there are any queries related to the course content, or browsing or utilizing the SWAYAM portal, you can raise your queries. Post it here, and we can have a look, understand it, and resolve it. So currently, I'm doing my doctoral journey. I'm a PhD student at Department of Design, IIT Roorkee, and before that, my academic background is architecture and industrial design from School of Planning and Architecture, New Delhi. And after that, I worked at Infosys, which is an IT company, as a user interface designer. After that, I worked for a few years at Think Design, which is again a design firm, and I started my own startup as well, which was into design consultancy and upcycling. So I was there with my startup for around 2 to 3 years before joining as an educator. So as a teacher and a design faculty member, I had taught at many design institutions. And after around 8 to 9 years of work experience, I paused my professional journey and I took up research. So that's where I joined a PhD program, doctoral program at IIT Roorkee Department of Design. Right. So I'll be taking up this course every week. We'll be meeting at the same time, 3 o'clock, to discuss week specific content. Right. And with that, I would like to invite Anirudh. If you can please introduce yourself. It can be a very short introduction if you don't want to speak much. Your name, your background, and what is the motive of taking up this course. Anirudh. Okay, so we have Joshua. Joshua, if you're there. Jyoti Keswan. Jyoti. It can be very brief introduction. I mean, you don't need to shy away from that. It's just for my understanding and for the understanding of the entire bunch, so that we are aware what all backgrounds we have. Kritika. Kritika Madhusudan.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello, sir.
We are basically, sir, doing a very quick round of introduction. If you can please tell about yourself.
I'm coming 4 minutes, sir.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Basically, your background, where you are from, what are you doing, and what is your motivation to take up this course?
Motivation. No motivation.
All right. We'll go ahead.
Okay.
We have Sri Lakshmi. Sri Lakshmi.
Okay.
Okay, you can mute.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay. Then we have Niranjan, if you're there. All right. Ruchika Sharma. And finally, we have Sanvi. Sanvi Dave, if you're there. All right, no issues. So, in the meantime, if you feel like introducing or speaking up, we are most welcome. If anybody who has joined later, if you want to please introduce yourself, we are open to that. Today is the first day, and we would want to know, I mean, your backgrounds, where you are geographically located, just to understand the kind of learners we have. So, anybody who would want to introduce? All right. So, since we do not have any introductions from the learner side, I have already introduced myself, and fine then, we'll be starting off with our session today. Uh, I must tell you that these sessions are basically for your help. In due course, if you feel while attempting your assignment one or while going through the course content, if you feel that there is something which you're having a doubt about, you can raise your concerns. What basically we do in these sessions is that we have first a set of protocol slides where we try to brief you about the course, and we repeat that particular protocol slide deck in each and every session, which takes around 15 to 20 minutes. The idea is that a learner can join in any of these sessions, and they need to be benefited from each and every session. That's where we have a set of protocol slides which we would you know initiate with each and every session. Once the protocol slide is done, we try to understand about the marking criteria, the certification criteria. The idea is to make you aware, because if you are from the student background, the course credit requirement is very critical, and to achieve a certificate, whether you are a student or a professional, you need to be aware of what those guidelines are, right? Going ahead, normally what I've started doing is that I always have a few slides of content recap. This is based on my understanding of taking up this course for at least twice. I've taken up this course in the past 2 to 3 semesters, and what I've realized is that many a times a student do not or is not able to attend these lecture sessions or the module content. So the aim of the content recap is that even if you have not gone through the week one module content, through the snapshot summary, you will have some basic understanding of what kind of content was covered. Okay. It will give you a quick snapshot summary of the entire module. And post that, we have a set of 10 questions. Right. So basically, I'm telling you the entire order of presentation, the PPT which I have, which I'll be sharing with you. Uh, so in those set of 10 questions, these are different from the questions which are already available as an assignment to you. The idea is that the questions which I share with you are basically to evaluate your understanding of the week one content, and it's not basically to judge you or to mark you. The idea is that if you have gone through the week one content, it will help you in understand it better, right? And even in due course, you will be having your final examination, where again you'll be asked a set of questions. So it might happen that the questions which I share with you might also come up in your final examination, right? So the idea is to prep you for your final examination, to show you what are the different ways and different kinds of questions that can come in your final examination. So once content recap and set of 10 questions are done, so during the questions, I also show the validated screen from the main content, and we understand what the answers are. During the post of these questions, I request everybody to share their perspective. It's more like a voting for the options. So I'll share you the question format along with 3 to 4 options, wherein you will be invited to, tell whether it is option B or option A or option C. We do a voting, and then we understand where the entire bunch is thinking towards, and then we get back to the correct answer. Once that is done, the last slide is basically about the questions from the discussion forum. We have had a couple of questions from the discussion forum, although they were not very much related to the content, but at a tertiary level, those questions were, and those were also answered through the Google forum, Google discussion forum. But for the benefit of all, we also keep it in our discussion forum. Okay. So now, anybody who has joined later who would want to introduce yourself, the floor is open. You can please raise your hand. I'll call out the main name. Just a brief introduction, your name, your background, and your motivation for this course. If there are any learners who would want to introduce themselves. All right, no issues. I mean, it's the first class. It's perfectly fine. Uh, so what I'll do is I'll share my screen, and we'll start off with our very first session on understanding incubation and entrepreneurship. So at least please give me a heads up when you are able to see the screen, so that I am aware and we do not miss uh, on the content part. If anyone can tell if my screen is visible, it will
Yes,
be
sir.
helpful. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, okay, okay. Thanks a lot. So, meanwhile, I'll also join with my personal credentials just in case. All right. Mm. Great. Okay. So, this is the cover slide, and as you're aware, it's understanding incubation and entrepreneurship. The course instructor is Professor V.K. Chakravarti, sir, who has been in the design department at IDC School of Design at IIT Bombay. And my name is Abhishek, and I am the TA for this particular course. Currently, I am doing my research, doctoral research at Department of Design, IIT Roorkee. All right. So, okay. So live sessions are there to help you in the current run of courses. What do we mean by current run of courses? We say that since we are meeting each and every week, the idea is that we help you understand the content of that particular week through a set of questions, which you have already mentioned, right? We shall discuss and solve week specific assignments. So, like I said, we are meeting every week, and it's basically a 12-week course. So we'll be basically meeting 12 times throughout the duration of this course. There could be one more extra session just before your final examination to help you guide you, how you can prepare, what are the do's and don'ts, the important stuff that we'll cover in that one extra session. So in all, there would be 12 plus 1, 13 sessions, live sessions conducted over the duration of the course. So week specific assignments, and we'll take up a set of 10 questions. Okay. Other than the live assignment, right? The idea is that, the live assignment questions are there to assess you, understand your learning, right? So they're basically to assess you, to understand your learning, and then for your final evaluation. So from a certificate perspective, that will all be necessary to evaluate you, to mark you, right? But the kind of questions we'll be having will be week specific. So like today we'll be discussing week one questions pertaining to the week one content module which has been floated up till now. And these will be different from your assignment questions. So assignment one questions will be different, and the set of questions which I'll be sharing you will be different. I hope this is clear as of now. Okay. Uh, Also, what we do is we respond to the queries and questions. There are through discussion forums, or during the course of this PPT also you might have some questions. The best way is that you post that question in a chat box, or you can raise your hand, you can unmute yourself and speak. However, we always prefer that the questions are also asked using the discussion forum functionality. We also do a content recap of the ongoing week. So this is basically in case where, if you are unable to go through the course content. However, it is always desirable that, when you are coming to attend for the live session, you go through the content, because then your understanding will be much better and you will be able to address and answer the questions which we'll be going through in this particular session, right? So from that perspective, it is very much important. So, as certain basic ethics and decorum, we request everybody to keep your mic on mute, because we are recording the session, and we don't want any unnecessary noise and disturbances, because these sessions, as I said, will be recorded and will be uploaded on YouTube. So there could be a possibility where you're not able or unable to attend a particular live session in one of the weeks. So based on your time and comfort, you can actually go through the live content session once again, right? So I'll be sharing where you'll be finding those links as well. You may unmute to speak if you have any questions, or while responding. So when we are going through the set of 10 questions, I would want you to at least share your opinion, your perspective, what could be the right answer, A, B, C, or D. And so we do a quick voting, and we understand where the answer is going, whether it's correct or not, and then we validate it using the current content. Okay. For questions, kindly post in the discussion forum functionality. Those who are not aware what discussion forum is, you go to ask a question functionality. This is basically a screenshot of your Swayam portal, Swayam platform. Once you have logged in, you'll be able to see your mail ID here, and these are the top tabs. Just to brief you about the tabs, announcement section is very important. You will have all the basic information, the live sessions, the answer key release, everything, evaluation. It will be available in the announcement section. About the course, we'll be having your all the course modules from week 1 content to week 12. Every content and module will be uploaded here. This I've already shared. It is about the discussion forum functionality. It takes you to a Google forum page wherein you can post your questions. Progress is something which will be available to you once the assignment one deadline is over, right? The idea is that you are able to see the progress you have made in terms of going through the content, as well as the kind of marking you are getting, right? So once the assignment deadline is over, you'll be able to see your marks in that particular assignment one, two, or three, and you can see your progress, how you're performing in each week, right? Then you will see, you have a links like this. Click to register for certification. Basically, if you require the certificate, you'll have to click on this particular link. You have to fill certain details, and you can actually register for the examination. All right. So all these sessions are recorded, and the live recordings are available at my YouTube channel. It's a mandate given to us from the NPTEL team that we have to record all the sessions and we have to upload it. Like I said, many a times you might be having classwork assignments or examinations. If you're a professional, you might be having certain work engagements or meetings, right? So, in case you are unable to attend these live sessions, all these live sessions will be recorded and uploaded on the YouTube channel along with the presentation deck. So, what you are going through is basically the presentation deck and the deck along with the annotated. So, all these are annotations. Annotated presentations will be converted into PDFs and this will be uploaded on Google Drive. Okay, so this is the link of it. Now, don't have to worry about these two links. What you'll do is, the moment our solving session is over, maybe in a day or two, you'll start seeing a link here which will say problem solving session. Okay, when you click here, it will be taking you to an Excel sheet online only, which will have week-wise details. So for week 1, week 2, week 3, and likewise, you'll be having a Google Drive folder which you can click and access the PDFs. And for each week, you'll be having the YouTube links, right? So, no need of copying these huge links. It will be available to you the moment, probably in a day or two from today. You'll start seeing the problem solving sessions, and each week content and everything will be updated in due course. All right. So just a course preview. The course name is Understanding Incubation and Entrepreneurship. The instructor is Professor B.K. Chakravarti sir, who I've already told was from IDC School of Design at IIT Bombay. And he was also taking lead in the initiatives of DIC, which is basically Design Innovation Center. Currently, Chakravarti sir is taken up duties at the Mahindra University and heading the School of Design there. The course run is of 12 weeks duration, and each week we'll be meeting for the live session. The time will be probably this only, unless there is a last minute change or something. But probably for all the sessions, we'll follow this particular schedule. The week 1 assignment deadline is 5th of Feb. Okay, so it's critical. Please ensure that you submit your assignments well before time. Although you have good time left, but then still, I mean, the earlier the better. Okay. Okay. Final examination date is 27th April, right? And it will be conducted in 2 shifts. Either it will be pre-lunch or post-lunch. This is basically from my past experience, so you will be allotted one of these 2 slots, depending upon the number of learners who are there to attend the course, and it will be in a physical format, which basically means that you will be going to a particular exam center, and you'll be probably given a system to sit and submit the answers, right? So since past I've seen that it's basically a computer based examination where you sit, you click on the links, and you get to see the answers. I mean, you submit your answers. Rarely it has been more of a pen and paper examination. So the exam format will be shared to you right before your examinations, probably 1 or 2 weeks before. So you'll have to wait for that, because during that time only you will also get your uh, exam tickets, right? The hall tickets by which you enter the examination. All right. So I was talking about the progress. If you click on the progress bar at the top header, you get to see the unit wise progress, which basically means how much content you have already gone through. If you have seen the content along with your additional learning materials, which are ADLs given in each and every particular week's content, your percentage will be shown like this, how much content you have gone through, right? And you'll be also seeing your assessment progress. There should be a tab beneath it, and that will be available once the marking are released assignment wise. Okay. All right. So the course is free to learn and enroll and learn from, right? If you don't want a certificate, you can actually enroll it and grasp the entire content of it, learn from it, and probably benefit from it. But if you want a certificate, you will have to register in the for the examinations, right? And these examination, as I mentioned, will be in person at one of the designation exam centers. You'll be having the choice, to select the examination centers based on your proximity or your travel plans. Um, there is a certain late fee also applicable. If you register your examination before 24th, the exam fees will be 1,000. But if you do it later, then certain late fee is applicable. There is also certain fee waiver for students belonging to the SC/ST category and PWD category. So for that, you'll be required to upload certain valid document so that you can avail the fee waiver for this particular examination. Okay, so now coming to the criteria to get a certificate, it's a little important and critical slide. Let me explain it. If anybody has a question, you can raise. Otherwise, we'll go back to the presentation. Okay. So this is again from my past experience of taking up this course. There is a certain criteria by which you can earn a certificate, right? So first of all, like I mentioned, that you have week content for every week. So there are 12 weeks. So you'll be having 12 assignments, right? What NPTEL gives you the privilege is that we take the best 8 out of it. कभी कभी होता है सारे असाइनमेंट सही नहीं होते, गलती से कुछ गलत हो जाते हैं, राइट? सो वी गिव यू दैट फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी एंड वी कंसिडर ओनली द बेस्ट 8 assignments out of 12. So that's why I always encourage all my learners that please submit all assignments, so that from a marks perspective you will be taking the best 8 ka average, right? Now if you have gone through a institution or a college, you will understand the entire composition. There is something called as internals, there is something called as externals, and this lead to your overall marking, right? So the internals in this case is your best 8 assignments, which weighs around 25%. So 25% weightage is given to the internal assignments, जो कि आपकी week wise assignments. For externals, we have a weightage of 75%. Externals का मतलब you'll be going to a physical center and appearing for the examination. This will be happening at the end. Once your all 12 weeks of content is over, then you'll be going to the examination for that. Okay. And these both will sum up to 100%. Okay. Now comes the criteria, right? The criteria are very important. Here, you need to have a score greater than equal to 10 out of 25. Here, you need to have a score greater than 30 out of 75 so that overall your score is more than 50 out of 100. Okay. Now, let's understand the catch here. Okay. There could be some student who scores great in the internals. They might score 20 here. However, the external doesn't go very well. They might score 25 here and the overall score becomes 45. Okay. Now, if you see here, they are meeting the criteria here, they are meeting the criteria here, but this criteria is not taken care of. In this scenario, no certificate will be given because you have to meet all the criteria. Let me share another criteria. You score only 5, but here you score 55 out of 75. Your overall score is very nice. It's 60 out of 100. But yet again, no certificate because you are not meeting the internal criteria. All right. So that's why it's very important that you give due respect and importance to your internal week wise assignments, to your external examination, so that you are well above the 40 marks criteria and you gain your सर्टिफिकेट है ना. अब इतनी मेहनत कर रहे सर्टिफिकेट तो जरूरी है ना. दैट्स द काइंड ऑफ फॉर सम इट इज अ मोटिवेशन फॉर सम लर्निंग इज द मोटिवेशन. सो मोटिवेशंस डिफर पर्सन टू पर्सन but then having a sense of how you'll gain a certificate is very important so that you prepare well for your entire course. All right, so we are slowly approaching the recap. These were the topics which were discussed in the week one. It was about introduction to entrepreneurship, evidence-based entrepreneurship, Gopal Krishna Deshpande Center, STEM colleges, why startups fail, green startup, and journey of Dinoj. And then there was a ADL, additional learning material on as a TED talk. Broadly, you have two typology of questions. The first typology is where there is single correct answer. And the second typology is where you have multiple correct answers. Okay. So these are called radio buttons. And these are your multi-select options. Okay. So what paratha do you want? I can select only one of them. So either I can select aloo potato or gobi paratha or mixed paratha. So I can only select one of them. I cannot have multiple correct answers here. I just have one choice here. Okay. But if you see this typology of questions, what do you want in your burger? I can have actually tomato, I can have cucumber, I can have cheese as well, I can have sauce as well. Okay. So there could be more than two answers correct. There could be each and every answer an option which is correct. So you have to thoughtfully, uh, you know, uh, pick on the correct answer. However, when you are doing this, you must be also aware of the marking criteria here. Because behind this, there is also marking which is involved, which we'll be explaining you in the subsequent slide. Yes. I'll just give you a minute. Please read all 1, 2, and 3, and we'll take up an example. Okay. And we'll explain you how and when, in which scenario you can get these typology of marking. Okay. Just take a minute, read all these three options, and I'll explain you these scenarios. Okay. I hope everybody has read it by now. Okay. So, if all options chosen by the student are correct and no incorrect answer has been chosen, then full marks. If at least one incorrect answer has been chosen, then no marks. And if only correct answers are chosen, but not all correct answers are chosen, then partial marks. Okay. So let's take an example. So this is just an example question. All right. So these are the four options. Can anybody tell what is the correct answer? The question is, which all monuments are located in New Delhi? Lotus Temple, Gateway of India, Qutub Minar, and Red Fort. What are the correct answer to this question? Anyone? A, B, and C. Okay, so we have got one vote for. Sorry. Anyone else? It's a simple question. I mean, we are not asking for any marking here.
C and D, sir.
C and D, and then D, B, C, and D. Anyone else? Anyone else who would want to A, C, D? Okay, okay. Anyone else?
B,
C,
sir.
C and D, B. Okay, okay, great. So we're getting a lot of mixed response. Let me tell you the correct answers. The correct answer for this question is Lotus Temple. It's there in New Delhi, Qutub Minar, and Red Fort. So what we have is India Gate. Gateway of India is not in Delhi. Okay, what we have in Delhi is India Gate. Okay, so there is a difference between the two. So if you see, the correct responses to these questions are A, C, and D. Okay. So if you have shared the correct response, great. All right. Now let's understand scenario one. Okay. Scenario one says if all options chosen by the student are correct and no incorrect answer has been chosen, then full marks. Okay. So those of you who submitted A, C, and D, full marks. Okay. So if it is a 1 mark question, you'll get all 1 marks. Okay. Scenario two. If at least one incorrect answer has been chosen, then no marks. Okay. For example, if you select A, B, and C, if you select B, C, and D, or if you select A, B, and D, and the permutations likewise, if by any chance you are having B, which is an incorrect response, you won't be getting any marks, no marks. However, the catch here is with scenario number 3. It says, if only correct answers are chosen but not all correct answers have been chosen, then partial marks proportional to the number of correct answers chosen are awarded. So, for example, if you choose, sorry, A, D, and you submit, okay. If you choose C, D, you submit, or if you choose A, D, you submit A, C, okay. In all these scenarios, you are missing out at one more option, but still you have chosen only the correct responses. ना ये A, C, D में से ही सारे permutations हैं. So you might get proportional marks. So if you chosen this, you might get 0.66. Okay. Or if you select only A and submit, then also you might get 0.33 marks. ठीक है. So proportional marking you might get. It's important to understand because in previous few sessions, some of the learners, had a query that why we are getting marks in decimals, right? So if you are attempting your assignments, it's always good to be informed about these criterias because it will help you, achieve better marking if you are aware of all the algorithm and the behind rules with it, right? So if anybody has a question here, you can please raise. Else we'll proceed with our presentation. Anyone? Okay. Okay. Fine. We'll move ahead. So here we start the content recap. Just in case you have gone through the content, you have submitted your assignment one, it's great. It will be a recap for you. But just in case you have not gone through the content, it will be very much helpful to you. We'll be going through the image summary of it. It's like a visual summary of the content. We'll not be capturing each and every minute to minute details, but the broad heads of the content so that it can just help you in revision. कई बार ऐसा होता है ना कि might be possible that you have gone through the content a week back and you are unable to recall all those things. Okay, so this will give you a quick primer, and once we are starting our set of 10 questions, it will actually help you in addressing those questions, right? So it started with entrepreneurship. Who are entrepreneurs? What do they do? And how do they do it? It includes all aspects of planning, execution, finance. These are the people who spot opportunities where others see confusion or constraints, right? So these are the different definitions about entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs. And then the GDC, which was basically Gopal Krishna Deshpande Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, which was basically the names of these many people from IIT Madras who had set up this particular center. Then we have these two individuals who had explained in detail about evidence-based entrepreneurship in the module one content. One was Raghuttam Roy sir, and the other mentor was Anand KV. Both were from the GDC, and they help explain, the different reasons why startup fail, what are the important aspects, right? And then these were certain fact findings and their highlights that, after their incubate program and when the startups enroll for, these programs at the GDC, 60% of them go ahead with their startups. This is the percentage which hesitate to go and they stop their journey. And for them, each of them was a success because they are trying to, utilize the resources in a much better way. This was the timeline which they shared, wherein customer journey is where I incubate program focuses upon. Sorry, customer discovery it is, and the reasons they shared that why startups fail. They also shared the CB insights, which shared hierarchy wise, what are the most important and critical reasons why startups fail. Which started from no market need to cash to the right team, and then going ahead. And they shared that 50% startups did not survive 6 months and 90% startups did not survive a year. So why startups fail? No market need, ran out of cash, the money factor, not the right team, the team composition. You will understand in the later module content. What is an optimum team size and what kind of diversity you should have in your team when you are initiating or beginning your startup journey. Got out competed, meaning the competitors were there, they were offering better deals, better service, better value, and you got out competed from them. Then they shared the example of Uber, which is basically a matchmaking platform from a rider along with a taxi driver. Why I say matchmaking? Because whatever your request is, that will be posted. It will be reflected on the app of taxi driver, and if he's also going in that direction or if he's around that area, he'll be easily able to pick you up and take you to your destinations. Now there are many issues with these apps. People are sharing a great deal on social media, but that's essentially what Uber or Ola does. Disrupting the ecosystem. Can anybody tell why they are saying disrupting the ecosystem? कोई बता सकता है how they disrupted the ecosystem? or what do you say, the traditional ecosystem? What was the traditional ecosystem in the taxi business? Anyone?
Sir, conventional autos and taxis are facing issues because of these facilities, we can say.
Okay, okay. So basically, what they meant was the traditional ecosystem was that you go to a taxi guy or a auto guy and you say that, I want to go there, I want to go there. You have to reach out to them. Initially, we are talking about before Uber and Ola came. So you have to either call them or you have to visit their small kiosk and then they would charge something. There was a lot of bargaining involved. So that was the ecosystem. But then the moment they introduced Uber and Ola, what happened was they everything was brought to your mobile, wherein you have your app, you share your destination where you want to go, and it will match make the taxi drivers who are nearby, and they will automatically come to you. There will be a fixed price. Although they introduce surge pricing later, given the fact that there's rain and there is huge traffic jams, but then everything will be sorted in terms of no more bargaining required. So everything which will happen, it will happen through the backend system, right? So that's how they disrupted the entire ecosystem. Uh, these are the things later, what the founders do, getting new ideas about the product, making it more complex, world class, full of features. And then the lean startup, which included these many aspects of business model, customer development, and agile engineering. Then the business model canvas by Alexander Osterwalder. And this will be going through detail in the later modules as well. So during the last few modules, there is a project which was given to the IT Hyderabad MD students who filled all these sections. So there it will be more clear to you as in how to use this canvas for your own perspective or your startup idea. Okay, then comes the customer development by Steve Blank. He mentioned about the search phase and the execute phase, wherein customer discovery and validation were a part of search phase, and creation and company building was a part of the execution phase. Then there was a big, shift in terms of whether lean startup is different from design thinking or they are both together. So Anand sir mentioned about this particular graph from the Gartner, which said and informed how design thinking is basically linked to lean startup, whereas the initial phase is by design thinking, and then you need to follow the lean startup path in order to build a successful business solution. Then came the journey of Dinoj, who was an IIT Bombay alumni and who was working on the area of portable, surgical areas, surgery rooms, and we'll see what he was doing. Yeah, so sterile enclosures for conducting surgeries. He had certain basic assumptions when he went to GDC, where he was asked to actually validate them and then only proceed further with his work. So he went along in different areas, different parts of the country, different user groups. He evaluated them. He found the problems. He understood, what the aspects are, where is the requirement, where is actually the gap, so that he can focus on, what proposition he need to build upon. Okay, so these were the findings. He pivoted his sterile surgical enclosures to that of bird injury patients because he found great insight into it. There were facts that supported that it's a good area to work upon, wherein a patient has to go through 40 days of treatment, right? And then there is huge cost which is involved, and then there is a chances of infection. So from a hygiene perspective and all those things, he found a very good positioning in the market. As you can see, the solution was fitting a very good area in terms of infection control and affordability because the other options were either too costly or not available in the Indian scenario, right? So this positioning was actually made through talking to potential customers. And this niche is very important when you are having a startup or a startup idea. You need to find the kind of value you are bringing to what user groups. It's also called target groups or the target audience. So this is a proposition which he shared, wherein a quickly deployable unit which can convert any hospital bed into an isolation room. So if you see, this is the existing scenario, and this is the visualized scenario. I mean, it's a 3D visualized scenario wherein they have converted the room into a isolation room where every bed has become an isolation bed. What you see here are doctors and caregivers who are basically going inside the isolation chamber. All right. And he also stressed on the fact that, one should be very clear with the roadmap, how in their journey, what are they achieving, what are their goals, 5-year goal, 10-year goal in terms of improving their product, adding features to it, and what kind of market they are capturing eventually. This is their team, and Dr. Rupesh Ghar will be coming in the later sessions as well, where he'll be guiding and mentoring the IIT Hyderabad students. We'll see that later. All right. So before we start the first question, what we can do is we can take a very quick break. If you want to drink water, just get a glass of water, have it, sip it, and next 5 minutes we'll be starting our set of 10 questions. Okay. So let's take a very brief pause here, and we'll start with our set of questions. Up till now, anybody who had any doubts, you can speak up. All right, all right. So we'll just take a quick break because long prolonged sitting is also not very good for health. Let's take a 5 minute break and we'll start with our set of 10 questions. All right. Yeah, all well. Yeah, I think we can start once again with our set of 10 questions. All right. So before we begin with our question deck, I would request once again to everyone that we are not here to evaluate you. In fact, I even don't get to know the names of people who are replying. So it's a humble request that you please participate in the questions and try to respond to it. You can simply either in Google chat box you can share your options or you can speak up. Anything is fine. I mean, there is no issue of not responding. Okay, so unless we make it more dialogue based and more vocal, it will be a very monotonous way of having these sessions, right? So I would request all to please share your viewpoints. आप बताइए आपको क्या लगता है which are the correct answers, and we'll try to understand why it is the correct answer. We'll try to validate with the course content, and we'll proceed with the next question. So that's how we'll be going about, right? So with that, I present you the first question. It's a very direct question. According to Mr. KV Anand, who is again from the GDC, right? Who is from the GDC. In module 1, what is the topmost cause for 90% of the startups to fail? वो क्या प्रमुख कारण था जिसमें स्टार्ट जो 90% ऑफ द स्टार्टअप्स हैं वो फेल होते हैं, 90% स्टार्टअप्स फेल. The options given to you are no market need, running out of cash, lack of focus, or poor marketing. Okay. Now these all can be the correct answers, but if you see there's a circle, which means only single correct answer. You've got one vote for poor marketing. Okay. Yes, you may please speak. You have raised your hand. I think somebody has raised the hand. If you want, you can unmute and speak. That's perfectly fine. Bhuvaneshwari. Okay, we have got two votes for option D. Again, I would try to reiterate the question. Okay, it's very important to understand the question and the context. Okay, now, according to Mr. KV Anand in module 1, okay, so this is the context given to you. Okay, you don't have to go by your understanding of the question. Okay, so here we are referring to Mr. KV Anand, who is from the GDC and who talked about what are the 70% reasons why startup fail, and we've also seen from the screens what he said. So if you've gone through the content, if you understand the context, then only you can answer this question. Otherwise, you can answer any one of them. And obviously, these all could be potential reasons, but what we are referring to is the topmost cost, जो सबसे शीर्ष पे है. Okay, the topmost factor. Okay, these could all be the factors. That's very true. सारे हो सकते हैं, बट हो सकता है कि कोई 90% हो, some of it is 85%, 60%, 70%. What we are asking is the topmost factor. Okay, so any further options by learners? We've got one vote for A and we've got three votes for D. Anyone else who would want to share your perspective? According to Mr. KV Anand, what is the topmost cause for 90% of the startups to fail? No market need, running out of cash, the money factor, money or finance. Lack of focus, they are not focused towards their goal. Poor marketing, they are not marketing well. Okay, we have got two votes for option A. Anyone else? Poor marketing means they have a product, but they are not marketed well. So, it's their startup is failing. No market need, there is actually no market for the product. They have made it up, they have made a product, it's there, but then उसकी जरूरत ही नहीं है. People don't need it. Okay. Okay. So let's go to our answer. Let's go to the validated screen. 90% of the startups get run over by the market. Okay. What happens is this: more than 90% of the startups, the number can be vary from 90 to 97 to 98% startups they face when they go to market, they get run over by the market. Okay. And this is the fate for 90% of the startups. The run over by the market means there is no market need. है ना, मार्केट में इसकी जरूरत ही नहीं है. So the correct answer for question number 1 is no market need. So I think a few of you mentioned option A, which is the correct answer. The topmost cause for 90% of the startups to fail is no market need. All right. Let's go to our second question. Among the following option, which is the most important feature for any startup to pursue as discussed by Professor B.K. Chakrabarty in lecture 1? Okay. Lecture 1 के हिसाब से according to Professor V.K. Chakrabarty sir in lecture 1, most important feature for any startup to pursue. ऐसा कौन सा महत्वपूर्ण कारण है जो स्टार्टअप्स को फॉलो करना ही चाहिए? द ऑप्शंस आर कस्टमर रिलायबिलिटी, कस्टमर सर्विस, कस्टमर डिस्कवरी या कस्टमर फीडबैक. Again, these options are very close. You'll actually have to go through it, slowly understand what these options mean, and then only, you'll be able to get right to it. The most important feature for any startup. Option C, option D. All right, we have started getting votes. More votes, please. What are your opinion? Is it the customer service, reliability, discovery, or feedback? Okay, okay. More inputs, please. Most important feature for any startup to pursue. So customer service, generally comes once the product is handed over to the customer, and the product is being used, and then you probably require the service part. Okay. Say for example, you bought a car or you bought a bike, right? And first 2 or 3 years, probably it will work fine, but from third year or the fourth year, you'll start having problems. So you need to have a better service, right? So the challenge which Ola EVs are facing, e-scooters, the service part is not working very well for them, right? But this is happening after a certain duration, right? अभी नहीं हो रहा है. Till the time they have purchased it, that is not the problem. But down the line, the service part comes in. Okay. Customer discovery. Customer discovery is basically the initial part where you try to identify your customers, है ना. उसके बाद कहीं जाके आपका कस्टमर के फिर फीडबैक आएंगे, आप इसको इम्प्रोवाइज करोगे, एंड देन द सर्विस पार्ट विल कम. सो अगर आप देखो ना, सो दिस इज ऑल फॉलोइंग इन अ सर्टेन ऑर्डर. थोड़ा आगे पीछे हैं, दीज आर फॉलोइंग इन सर्टेन बिट्स एंड पीसेस. सो So if you see the first thing which is important and critical is discovery. After discovery comes your feedback, because once you've made a product, then you would want their feedback, you will improvise it. Once the feedback and testing is done, then you launch the product, people will buy it, and then comes the service part where people would want to avail the service of it, right? Reliability is basically about, how reliable the customer inputs are. So ये इस particular sequence में it might not fall in place, right? So it is not making much of a sense as an option here. All right. These three could be the right answers. So one of them is the correct answer among these three. Okay. But if you see from a sequential viewpoint, what comes first is the customer discovery. What comes second is the customer feedback, and then the customer service. All right. So we have got two votes for customer discovery and customer service. Let's see the correct answer. Customer discovery is the key feature one should follow for any startup. From the Ola story, we have learned that the customer discovery is the most important feature in any of the startup. You saw how Bhavish could trigger the change from being an Ola trip to taxi hailing service, right? So I believe now you are aware what the correct answer is. It's customer discovery. So all those who have said customer discovery, well done, doing great. And all those who said customer feedback, you are very close. But I showed how you have to validate your answers. The moment you start, thinking in this direction, okay, what comes first, what comes second, what comes third, you'll be able to make a better and a well-informed guess, even if you are trying to guess the correct answer. Okay, so that is why I was thinking aloud, so that you also try to understand, how to attempt probably the questions which you may not have been aware of, yeah, or you might have slipped through the content. Okay. All right, so we've gone through that two set of questions. Now comes the third question. What is the meaning of success according to Mr. Raghuttam Roy? Again, once again, it's very important. We are not asking the meaning of success to you. No. हम आपसे नहीं पूछ रहे what is the meaning of success. We are saying according to Mr. Raghuttam Roy, what is the meaning of success? So during the course content, he must have said something about it. He must have, conveyed something about it. You need to tell us that. Is it going to the market? Is it about delivering the product as well as make money? Is it about building and tackling the most difficult of solutions? Or moving out of your comfort zone? Yes, Risha, you have raised your hand. Anything? Anything you would want to speak? You can unmute and speak if you want to share anything. Okay, so she's suggesting option D. Okay, fine, fine. Got it. Anybody else who would want to vote upon the meaning of success according to Mr. Raghuttam Roy? Okay, okay. Again, this is something which we are not trying to answer from our own understanding, but from the understanding of the content. Okay. So if you recall, the week one content, it started with Mr. Raghuttam Roy and then KV Anand sir joined in. So there he talked about, to identify the meaning of success, for every individual, for every startup, the success criteria is could be different. And so these all three options can actually be a criteria for you. But then according to Mr. Rao, what was the criteria? That is what we are trying to decode and understand, right? Going to the market, यानी कि going to the market का मतलब हुआ you have launched the product, the market is available in the market. Deliver the product as well as make money, यानी कि you have delivered the product and you are also making money. है ना, आप पैसे भी कमा रहे हो आप और आप प्रोडक्ट भी बेच रहे हो. Build and tackle the most difficult of solutions. तो यानी कि आप बनाओ भी और टैकल भी करो जो सबसे कठिन प्रश्न होने चाहिए, डिफिकल्ट ऑफ the problems होना चाहिए. So solution is not making much of a sense here. The language of the question option in itself is in doubt. Moving out of your comfort zone. Okay, so that is something which we all understand. Uh, so we have got 2 votes for option C and 3 votes for option D. Interesting. The meaning of success according to Mr. Raghuttam Rai, who is from the GDC. All right. Anyone else who would want to share your opinion? What could be the right answer? Any votes for A, B? We haven't received any votes for A and B. We have only received votes for C and D, wherein D is leading, moving out of the comfort zone. So nobody is moving out of the comfort zone in the session today. Huh? Nobody is speaking up. No, hardly, hardly anyone has unmuted and introduced themselves. Okay, ठीक है, fine. So let's see the validated screenshot. Ideas are simple, building a business is difficult, है ना? Ideas are simple का मतलब anybody can sketch ideas, है ना? We on the go we generate so many ideas, we keep on thinking ये भी कर सकते हैं, वो भी कर सकते हैं, but building a business is difficult. Startups should be able to deliver the product along with making money. Okay? Product भी deliver करना चाहिए, making money is also important. Why do you think making money is important? कोई बता सकता है? Why making money is important? Anyone? Why he mentions delivering the product is fine. I mean, you have identified a problem area, आपने कुछ solution बनाया है, you are delivering the product along with making money. Why making money is important? Anyone?
If there is any need to improve that product again, we need money, sir. So maybe that.
All right, that's a very good answer. So you might get certain feedback, you might want to improvise the product, but yet again you will need money for it, है ना? आपको फिर से reinvest करना पड़ेगा. You have to go through the entire design process of making the product, right? So yes, you would need money. What else? Anyone? So you also have to sustain yourself, right? आपको अपने आप को sustain भी करना है. If there is a startup, they have already mentioned about having a team. Now every team will be having certain requirement, right? आपको उनको salaries देना होगा. You'll have to give them financial support as well. So to stay afloat, है ना? मतलब if you're getting funding, it's always good, but not every time you easily get funding. Okay, so you need to invest from your own self as well, right? So to make things sustainable, to survive in this entire ocean of startups where there are so many competitors, making money is also very important, right? So he says ideas are simple, building a business is difficult. Ideas are simple, you can sit generate ideas, okay? But when you want to make a business out of it, है ना, अगर इसको business बनाना है, business should make money. It should deliver a product or a service and make money at the end of it. Enough to keep everybody happy, then you have success. This is his lines, Mr. Roy. You might agree or you might don't want to agree. That is a different thing. है ना, आप agree करें ना करें, it's a different ball game altogether. But then the question was about how Mr. Roy has articulated success and his perception of success, and he describes this as his perception of success, or perspective rather, that if you want to make a business of a startup, it should be able to deliver whether you are offering a product or a service, and at the same time you should also be able to make money. You should keep everybody happy. What do you mean by everybody happy? Your family, your business partners, or employees, everybody should be happy, right? So सबको salaries time से मिलेगा तो everybody will be fine. They'll support you more. All right. ठीक है. Let's go further. Okay. So the correct answer is deliver the product as well as make money. So we could not find any of the correct answers for this option, but this one is the right one. All right. We'll go further. Question number 4. What are the main objectives of Gopal Krishna Deshpande Center? Again, what is this? This is GDC, of which Mr. Anand and Mr. Rao were there, who explained in the module 1. For innovation and entrepreneurship, as discussed in module 1 by Mr. Rao, what are the main objectives? Main objectives of GDC. Okay. What are the main objectives of GDC? It is to work with the STEM colleges and fund science-based ideas to benefit multinational corporations, to increase the probability of success of startups, and to build entrepreneurial thinking. You have got the four options. Now, I would like to take your focus on the type of question. It is a square-based question, which means that you can have multiple correct answers. Okay, so we have got first vote wherein there is a vote for all four of them. C or D, A, C, D. Okay. We have got ACD once again. Interesting. Anyone else? Anyone else? Option C. Okay. Okay. So I think people are also thinking about the marking criteria, proportional marking. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Anyone else? We are talking about the main objectives of GDC, why they established GDC, and why. What do you think are the main objectives of them? Is it about working with STEM colleges and fund science-based ideas, or to benefit multinational corporations to increase the probability of success of startups? So if a startup comes in and join in their code, then the probability of success might increase, and to build entrepreneurial thinking. तो बता सकते हैं what do you mean by STEM colleges? What do you mean by STEM? STEM का मतलब क्या होता है? Anyone? STEM colleges, STEM. ठीक है, so let's take that as an assignment. Once the session is over, I would want you to please go through it. What do you mean by STEM? And the second thing is, what do you mean by STEAM? Not the water one, not the H2O one, but the other STEAM. So it's like a tier 2 STEM. Okay. So try to identify what these are. Okay. Okay. Let's get back to our question. Yes. So I believe we don't have more votes. We have got 3 votes for option A, which is working with the STEM colleges and fund science-based ideas. We have got 1 option for multinational companies, 5 votes for probability of success increasing, and 4 votes for building entrepreneurial thinking. Great, great. I think most of them are in the right direction. Let's see the validation screen. The slide is about GDC only. Improve the odds of success of the startups emanating from research labs. Build entrepreneurial thinking in campuses by working with STEM colleges and incubators across India. Right. So most of you have actually ticked the right one. So first one is correct. Working with the STEM colleges. Right. Many of you have already said that. To increase probability of success, yes, that is also one of the correct options. So you get proportional marks for it. And to build entrepreneurial thinking. So I think 3 of you also mentioned this. So that is also correct. So well done. A very good attempt from all of you. Right? Okay. Coming on to our 5th question. As discussed in module 1, what is evidence-based entrepreneurship? Now, both Anand sir and Rao sir was talking about this particular term, evidence-based entrepreneurship. The options are a methodology that focuses on making decisions based on evidence, program offered by GDC for innovation and entrepreneurship, a combination of agile engineering, customer development, and business model canvas, and a method that emphasizes customer validation and iterative development. Okay. Just go through these options, take a pause, thoda sa padhiye all the options, you will be able to understand in a much better way. uh, Basically what we are trying to understand is what is evidence based. We are trying to understand this particular term. Okay, we have got 2 votes for option A. Okay, 3 votes. Nice. Anyone else? We've got 3 votes for option A. We're trying to understand evidence-based entrepreneurship. We've got 1 vote for option D. Okay. Option A says methodology that focus on decision making or making decisions based on evidence. It's a program offered by the GDC for innovation. It's a combination of all three: agile, customer development, and business model canvas. And the fourth is a method of that emphasizes customer validation and iterative development. So we've got 3 votes for option A. We've got 1 vote for option D. All right. Okay. So let's go backwards. A method that emphasizes customer validation and iterative development. Although the content does not say much about it, but I don't know. Let us see. Let us see. A combination of agile engineering, customer development, and business model canvas. इसको क्या बोलते हैं? This combination? Anyone? The question can come from any perspective. Okay, even the options can lead to certain question. So what is this called? We saw it in the content recap. Entire combination. It's the lean method. A program offered by GDC for innovation and entrepreneurship, which was I Incubate. So that is. So we are trying to negate, है ना? हम negate कर रहे हैं. What are the options? What could not be there? So that program is an I Incubate. So okay, so this option is not correct. This option is not correct because that is the lean method. This option and this option. So there could be a dichotomy here. Either it could be option A or it could be option D. So now you have to make a decision, right? So you can negate options and then also you can arrive at the correct answer. Right? So the votes are also given to these questions. So I hope you would have also tried process. If not, it can actually help you in negating options and then arriving at your correct answer. Okay. So need for evidence-based entrepreneurship, they have highlighted what the need is. In this methodology, every decision you make should be based on evidence and not based on your assumptions. Assumptions or opinions पे नहीं जाना है. You don't have to go based on assumptions or opinions, only based on the evidence. So every decision that you make on evidence is basically the correct answer. So all those who marked option A, applause to you. The answer is a methodology that focus on making decision based on the evidence. Well done. Okay, so now we'll be reaching out to our sixth question. GDC Gopal Krishna Deshpande Center aims to build dash thinking in campuses by working with dash colleges and dash across India. Okay, so now see the pattern of the question. Na? ये भी जरूरी है to understand the question pattern. Although it is, so it's what is it? It's one sentence which basically has 3 blanks, right? And so basically we are asking 3 things in one question. So you might get a question in this particular fashion as well. Okay. GDC aims to build dash thinking in campuses by working with dash colleges and dash across India. So the options are startup thinking with all colleges and schools across India, design thinking with government colleges and private institutions across India, entrepreneurial thinking with STEM colleges and incubators across India, or entrepreneurial thinking with STEAM colleges and schools across India? So you've got four options. You need to tell me which one is the correct. Again, it's a single correct answer because these are all radio button questions. Okay, so only one would be the correct answer. One vote for option C. Anyone else? Please go through the content. Okay. Startup thinking, design thinking, entrepreneurial thinking. So getting votes for option C. That's interesting. Colleges में all colleges, government colleges, STEM colleges, or STEAM colleges. So these are the options for colleges. These are the options for the last blank, which is 3. This is for 2. This is for 1. Right. Startup thinking, design thinking, entrepreneurial thinking, government, STEAM, STEM, school, private incubators, and schools. Okay. So we have got 4 votes for option C. Let's try to get it validated. GTC's vision is for India to be able to solve her society's problems by applying the full capabilities of the scientific and technological knowledge of Indian academic institutions through world class innovation and entrepreneurship. Improve the odds of success of the startups demanding from research labs. Build entrepreneurial thinking in campuses by working with STEM colleges and incubators across India. Okay. So if you see, all our 3 blanks are basically hidden in this particular question. So this is the first one, this is the second one, this is the third one, right? So I believe all 4 of you who opted for option C are the correct one. हमें entrepreneurial thinking को build करना है in STEM colleges and incubators. All right. So option C is correct. Well done. Well done, all of you. Okay. Coming on to the seventh question. Complete the following sentence with the most suitable option as per module 1. Startups fail not because of bad ideas. Startups fail because they fail to get dash. Okay. So you have to tell me what could be the right answer for this particular blank. So the options are property, customers, business patents, and market popularity. So we got one vote for option B. I would like to invite the audience for more votes. Customers, see, interesting. We've got more votes for okay, business patents. All right, all right. Anyone else? Okay, this is pertaining to why startups fail, the reasons of it. People have voted for customers, 3 votes for customers, then one each for a proper team and business patent, as well as I think market popularity as well. All right. Okay. Okay. So based on voting, option B is winning the race, but still we don't know the correct answer as of now. Any more votes? Why startups fail? They fail to get proper team, fail to get customers, fail to get business patents, or fail to get market popularity. इसको हम लोग अगर रिवर्स ऑर्डर में देखना शुरू करें, लेट्स सी, आई मीन market popularity is not the right term, because popularity is not something you look for. You know, market popularity is, it's more about having a good market need. Okay. So popularity and needs are two different things. A very dashing camera or phone can be very popular, but then it may not be the need of it, right? So there is ways of looking at it. Now, patents are basically IPRs, intellectual property rights. So if you have it, it's great, but then it does not define whether you have a successful startups or you're having a failure at startup. It is just a way of protecting your idea, your concepts, your offering, right? So basically protect करने के लिए, so nobody else should be able to copy it. So if you have a patent, it's obviously great. It adds to your profile. You get your idea protected, you get your offerings protected. But then again, it's not a major factor of failure of a startup. Then comes proper team and customers. Okay. So these two are again close, but then yet again, I've said that, team is something which stays there as a reason in top five, but you never know whether we are having the top one or not. Okay. Startups fail not because of bad ideas. Startups fail because they fail to get customers. Okay. So it eventually links to the market need as well. Market need का मतलब क्या होता है कि the customers are there or not. Basically, we are talking about the same thing. So if there are no customers, there is no market need. It's just a way of utilizing the two words in a different way, right? तो अगर मार्केट नीड नहीं है, इसका मतलब है कि कस्टमर्स नहीं है, कोई खरीदना ही नहीं चाहता है. Nobody wants to buy that product. No customer wants to buy that product, and hence there is no market need, right? So correct answer is option B, customers, which many of you have already said. So well done once again, all those who have opted for option B, because they failed to get the customers. All right. Now approaching our eighth question. According to Mr. KV Anand, what is the most common yet crucial mistake made by these startups? Building uninteresting solutions, not checking feasibility of ideas, not talking to potential customers, and raising capital early on. Think about it and let me know. Just checking out a small thing. All right. We have around 19 participants. All right. That's fine. Yes. So getting back to the question. The most common yet crucial mistake made by the startups. Building uninteresting solutions. The solutions are not very interesting, right? Not checking feasibility of ideas. So idea की feasibility check नहीं की है. Not talking to the potential customers. जो आपके potential customers हैं उनसे बात ही नहीं किया है. And raising the capital early on. Okay. All right. All right. Open to the audience, learners. If you have any more thoughts, any more votes onto this. All right. So majority of people are saying not talking to potential customers. You've got 4 votes for them, and you've got 3 votes for not checking the feasibility of ideas. Any more thoughts? Any more votes? So according to Mr. KV Anand, the most common yet crucial mistake made by the startups. Okay, so let's look at the validation screen. I would like more. I would like to ask you to please read this once. एक बार इसको पढ़ने का देखिएगा. You'll read it and you'll understand it more. So just take a minute. Try to read this slide. It's a very important, statement which is made by Mr. Anand. Okay, so it says, but you do not talk to the right people. What do you mean by right people? The potential customers. You do not talk to them. Instead, you talk to the wrong people. What do you mean by wrong people? You'll talk to your friends, you'll talk to your family members, talk to your relatives about the ideas, and just go and build the solution. This is typical startup. If some of you have done it differently, congratulations. But this is what happens to more than 90% of the startups. They just go and build a solution. And this is invariably true for every founder who is building a product that is disruptive or not even disruptive, but building a product, making it work is the toughest part. If I do not have a product, then I have nothing to sell. And what we usually, forget, and we do not talk about the other 99. So there are so many things, other things that one needs to think about what we do not. So this is really how startups fail, and these are the most common mistakes by the startups. So not talking to the potential customers. Correct answer is option C. Not talking to the potential customers. So well done, all those who have opted for option C. It's the correct answer. Going to our second last question. According to the module Evidence Based Entrepreneurship, the essence of lean startup is not to guarantee success, but to, these are the options, reduce the value of the company, reduce the odds of failure, reduce the odds of success, and reduce the startup problems. We're talking about the essence of lean startup. It is not to guarantee success. The lean startups is जरूरी नहीं कि So a few more votes, please. Just go through the content, understand it, and let me know. Most common yet crucial, according to the module Evidence-Based Entrepreneurship, the sense of lean startup is not to guarantee success, but to dash value reduce करना कंपनी का, odds of failure को reduce करना, odds of success को reduce करना, and reduce the startup problems. So these are very contrasting options. These are just opposite to each other. Still, we have got three two responses. That's interesting. Okay. Let's take the validation screenshot. Lean startup does not guarantee success. It reduces the odds of failure. ना हमें तो odds of failure को reduce करना है ना, हम failure की chances को हम reduce करना चाहते हैं, है ना? If you see the options, why would you want to reduce the odds of success? है ना? आप success को क्यों reduce करना चाहते हैं? Success की chances को why do you want to reduce? Lean startup से तो हमारा benefit हो रहा है. Benefit कैसे हो रहा है? How are you getting benefited? By reducing the odds of failure. So by reducing the chances of failure, you are actually benefiting your startup, right? Mm, Evidence is out there and you need to go and seek that evidence. After all, this is what do not claim. If you do this, your startup will be successful, because a lean startup does not guarantee success. It reduces the odds of failure. So it is reducing the odds of failure. Okay. So all those who have said option B, it's the correct one. It helps reduce the odds of failure. All right. ठीक है, आगे बढ़ते हैं. Coming on to our last question of this session. The question is, select the fundamental questions for any innovative startup to ask themselves and validate before moving to the next stage, according to Mr. K.V. Anand, as mentioned in module 1. What are the fundamental questions? Fundamental questions, basic questions for any innovative startup to ask themselves and validate. तो मतलब अगर कोई there is a new startup, what are the basic and fundamental questions that the startups need to ask themselves and validate before moving to the next stage? The options are: who needs it and why? Okay, we're already starting getting votes. That's good. That's very good actually. Who needs it and why? Can you deliver that value? Can you use it yourself? Can you make enough money? Okay, again, it's a multi-select option, which means you have more than one correct answers. Okay. More votes, please. All right. Great. Again, it's a multi-select answers. There are multiple correct options. You need to thoughtfully tell me what are the fundamental questions the startup needs to ask themselves and validate before they move on to the next stage. So up till now, we have got 4 votes for option A, 2 votes for option B, and 5 votes for option D. So right from one of the questions, you are probably able to understand that you need to make enough money. Huh? Okay, so we had a question around that. All right. Any further inputs, views? Hmm. So the question is about, if you have a startup, what are the fundamental questions that you should ask yourself? कौन से प्रश्न हैं जो आपको पूछने हैं with you being a startup owner? Is it about who needs it and why? Basically, it's talking about the customers. Can you deliver that value? So he mentioned about delivering a product and delivering the value, which one is important. So are you able to deliver that value? Can you use it yourself? Are you able to use it yourself? आप खुद use कर पा रहे हो कि नहीं? Can you make enough money again? Are you able to make enough money to sustain yourself, to make others happy? Again, this is in reference to what we read earlier. All right. Okay. So let's try to validate the correct answer. We have got 4 votes for option A, 2 votes for option B, and 5 votes for option D. All right. So the 3 questions for any innovation, any startup is who needs it and why? Well done. It's about the customers. Can you deliver that value? All right. And can you make enough money? Okay. So very well done. I think most of you have opted for the correct answers. Nobody said, can you use it yourself? So we have got the 3 correct answers, which is this A, B, and D. Right. So by now we reach and conclude to our concluding set of questions. I hope you learned something from it. You have also learned about how you try to negate certain options to reach on to the correct options. Uh, this is the penultimate slide wherein the questions were asked on the discussion forum. The question was about whether it is entrepreneur or entrepreneur. It's basically was about the spelling of it. The correct is entrepreneur. PRE is the right term. PRE and then PRE. So this is the incorrect option. There was one learner who said that your college is forcefully pushing to NPTEL. We are not interested. We have our plannings. Now, let me be very clear. See, the thing is that it's something which you need to discuss with your institution, your college. Uh, every institution has their own way of dealing with such stuff. Uh, I don't have the authority to forcefully ask you to join this course. It's more about how motivated you are and if there is a credit requirement from your particular college. Okay, so it works college to college, institution to institution, and nothing I can do from my end. So if you have or if you feel that it is being forcefully posed upon you, you can discuss with your college. Uh, but I personally feel that it's a good course. It's a very interesting course, and if you plan or have even a tiny intent of developing something, or you have a very interesting idea which you want to develop further, I think the course will act as a backbone, to your thought process, to your startup dreams, and will eventually help you in either claiming the right incubators, going and approaching them for guidance, for mentorship. Uh, will be very very helpful for you in due course. Okay, so after a few modules you'll also get to know what are the different incubators, what kind of offering they have, what are the different incubators which are domain wise. So some would be in med tech, which is medical technologies, some would be in certain other health aspects, some would be in aerospace or defense sector, right? You'll also be able to understand how the funding is being done and how these incubators are basically helping you connect with the probable funders, right? So there's a lot of things to learn, and then eventually you will also understand how to make pitches, how to make a business pitch, how to use the business model canvas, right? So even if you don't have a plan right now to set up a business or to set up a startup, you never know, down the line how things change, and not necessary that you become a startup co-founder. You can also become a part of a startup, right? Because a startup team requires people from different expertise, from different diverse domains. Okay, so it may happen, if you see LinkedIn today, there are many jobs wherein they require a co-founder, right? So they might require somebody from a management background or from a design background or from a financial background. So options are very much open. So if you understand the intricacies of startup, making agreements and all those things, eventually, even if you are approaching for a job, you'll be much more clear and you'll be able to make much more informed decision in that sense, right? So this we conclude our presentation deck. I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll stop presenting as well. And now I'll be opening up the floor. If you have any doubts, any comments you want to make, anything you want to share, uh, we can do it now. Okay, so it'll take some time to come out from the comfort zone. That's perfectly fine. Um, okay, that's fine. Fine. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly share my screen and I'll show you how to access the portal and the different functionalities of it. We have around 8 to 9 minutes left. Okay, so could be a probability where you have not explored all the options, right? So what I'll do is I'll share my screen once again and I'll show you where all you get to see the various resources and assets of this particular course. Okay, thank you, Sri Lakshmi, for that comment. Thank you. Uh, Let me share my screen. All right. So this is how the SWAM portal would look like to you. This is the announcement section which is opened up right now. And these, if you see, these are the week-wise content. So now if you see, week one content was about this. Week two content is also released. So if you click on week two content, you will be able to see the lectures and sessions, right? For week one content, this is the quiz. I hope you have been able to access it. The due date is here, 5th of Feb. Please try to attempt it. For week two, I think it will be the same, I believe. Yes, it is 5th of Feb. So for both week one and week two, the deadline is 5th of Feb. If you have already finished week one, I would suggest you to, understand the content of week two and then go ahead with that. Each week module has additional learning materials which are ADM, and if you click you will get access to different materials which you can read as a case study if you have time. If you have want to know more about it, you can do that. You can actually download videos as well. This functionality is given that many times you don't get good internet at your home but you want to learn about it. Okay, so with this link you can actually download week wise content. Go to the downloads. You've got assignments as well. You've got videos. So this you can download from here. All right. So all the videos are present, lecture 1 to lecture 27. You can actually download it and keep it because in the course page you get only week wise. It's like a progressive disclosure, right? But if you come here, you can actually gain access to the entire content. Okay. So this is a hidden trick which I'm telling you. But this is only when you have time, right? Otherwise you'll be burdened with a lot of content, है ना? फिर आपको मनी नहीं करेगा पढ़ने का. That is why in the SWAM platform it has been shown in a progressive way so that gradually you learn. Okay, step by step you learn and you attempt it. If we present to you each and everything right up in front of you, it will be very difficult to uh, you know understand it. So that is why you just go week by week for incremental learning and for getting a good grasp of the subject. Okay. About the course is having basic details. What are the different, how many people have enrolled. So these many learners have enrolled in this particular course and more than 1,000 have registered. Okay, so that's very, very interesting to see. And that's Professor B.K. Chakravarti sir, also known famously as Professor Chakku. All right. And this I've already told you about the discussion forum. If you click here, it will lead you to the discussion forum page. It's a very interesting functionality. If you want to use it, you post a question and everybody would understand what the question has been posted about. And the moment I reply, everybody will get to know the reply of it. Okay. Progress. So there are two progress, unit-wide progress. I mean, how much content you have read, and assessment scores. Once the deadline is over, you'll be marked on how you have attempted the week one assignment or week two assignment. And once the deadline is over, so after 5th Feb, you will start getting scores here. Okay, so no need to tell us these scores, but it's more of your takeaway. You need to understand, how well you are able to understand the answers. Now, I would also like to give you a piece of advice that, uh, in past there have been certain, not many, but one or two cases where, there was a discrepancy with the marking and the answer. Okay, so if you have a validated screen, like I was showing, for every question there was a validated screen, so that there is a basis for an answer, right? So if you think any of the question has been not correctly marked, or the correct option is not correct, actually, and if you have a validated screen for that, okay, okay sir, if you see, this is what they told, but here the option is this. Okay, so if you come across any of this situation, which does not happen usually, I mean, in one or two cases it has happened in the past, but then I would like to make you aware, if that happens, you can raise that matter. You can post it on the discussion forum, and we can actually take it with the NPTEL team, and they can resolve that. Okay, so in past there has been a one question which was incorrectly marked, and then we raised the issue with the NPTEL team, and every learner who had marked the correct answer but which was not marked earlier, they got revised marking. Okay, so although, see, we all are humans, these things might happen, although everything is verified and checked, but then I'm just informing you, in case, if you come up with something like this, uh, do not hesitate to report it. Okay, but do your background check, do your validation. Yeah, go through the content, just validate whether what you are raising as a concern is whether it is right or not. Once that is validated, then you can post it. Okay. Mentor review assignments. So since it's more of a, selection based thing, we don't have any assignments to get review about. But let's we have explored the download videos option. Then you have study material. If you click on study material, it will lead you to a different page, and all these module wise PDFs are presented. Okay, I hope you can see my screen, right? So you can actually download each all of them. It can be, whenever you are in the college or you are in a office space, you can actually download each of them in one go, and you can continue reading at your leisure time. So that's again a good functionality of it. Okay, and then comes lecture notes. So if you click here, uh, get that link, and you get to see the lecture notes of all 27 lectures. Okay, I'll just try to open one and show it to you. So these are all hidden assets. Okay, unless you have explored the portal, you won't be able to find all these things. Okay, okay, fine. It's large, so you can download it and you can actually go through it. Okay, so these are broadly lecture material, lecture notes, and download videos. These are the broad functions. If you have net issues, so obviously you can use your good internet facilities in college or institution, download them, and with your comfort, you can read them. Like I said, quizzes are important, so please submit your quizzes, because internals has a weightage of 25%. I've already showed it to you. And weekly feedback, so this is basically a Google form which the team wants you to please share. For every week you can share this. This is content in the video lessons. If you see, did you find it easier as expected yet tougher? Was it hard to solve? The difficulty level, है ना? So this is also something which you can utilize, because by participating in these forms, you can actually make lives of yourself and other learners also easier. So if you're from a different background, if you find the content lecture in a very very difficult language or hard to understand, you can just raise your request here, and then they probably might want to revise the course content as well. Okay, so all those possibilities are here. The learner gets a lot of weightage. They get a lot of platform to raise their concerns, to get their concerns resolved, and we are there to help you. So I think that would be all from my side. Once again, if you have any doubts, concerns, you can please make use of this last 1 minute, or we can close the day. So again, next time we'll be meeting on Saturday itself, 3 to 5. As I mentioned, there will be 12 lectures and plus one extra lecture just before your examination, so that we apprise you with certain more information. Otherwise, I think we are good to go. All right, so we are on time. Thanks once again. Thanks for joining. And I hope to see most of you in the next session as well. Thank you. Have a great day.